We got this Amber Steel versus Amber Emerald right here. I think it's going to be another good matchup.
DMV stays bringing the spice. I'm going to be taking this round off, getting out of the casting booth to go see what the vibes are over here. And I'll be joining us back for round 6. So I'll see y'all in a little bit.
Thank you,
All
Chirag.
right, all right.
I think it's me, JDZ, and Brent for this one, and then it's
Okay, okay.
you, Chirag, and Brent for the final round, and then we get into top 4. And I don't know what we're doing for that, but we'll figure
Let's
it out.
get weird. Let's get crazy for the top. It doesn't matter. Let's
Yeah,
just
I
vibe it
agree.
out, man. I love the energy. We're having a good time with it. I think, and I did mention that when you guys were getting your pack rush on, I was like, hey, 3 people in the booth, that could get a little complicated sometimes. 4 people in the booth can get a little strange sometimes, but I think we're making it work,
We
man. I
are.
think everyone's adding a little bit to this broadcast, and everyone is high energy, and we're just motivated to get some high level Lorcana content out. So I do appreciate you allowing me to be here with you. And again, if you're tuning in on the Twitch side of the house, make sure you're also on the YouTube side of the house. Okay, that's Garrick's Lorcana Layer. Okay, this is the Ink Ink my tongue twisted. For some reason I can't say ink dude. Ink Incorporated Tournament Invitational 3K. We are going into the fifth round, and it has been spectacular matches. Every match we've seen so far has been a banger, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. It's been great
Yeah,
so far.
absolutely. And I'm really excited for this matchup. I'm glad that we've also been able to feature a bunch of different deck colors and deck archetypes as well. We've seen some discard. We've seen the classic Oswald. We saw Jonathan Lamb's wild and wacky wheel list. We've seen some
Yeah,
Kiwi. We've seen some Blurple. We've seen some aggro. We're getting a little bit of everything here today.
I like that. I like that. I like that a lot. And I'm excited to see what's going to make it to the top cut because these events do shape the meta, as we spoke about earlier. So seeing what comes out on top, and I just want to see something cool happen. And let's see what Richie is going to do here because a lot of people have said that Amber Steel has been a deck that hasn't really been performing too well here in set 7. A lot of people are really down on it. They didn't feel like they got the cards that you think you would get coming into a set this powerful. They got the Troubadour card. Some people have been using that a lot. The Bianca card seems like it fits quite nicely into this traditional steel song strategy. So well, I'm interested to see how you're gonna roll with it as we're just going and blast the You're Welcome and kick it back on over to the Inkwell with no one cost character. Hate to see it. If you are Rob, I'm sure this deck plays quite a few.
Yep. Rob, I do know is playing an under the sea variant, so it's not like the Alex list that we saw in the last
Okay.
match. But here is the classic turn one Cindy. Forget Belle. Cindy is the original turn one singer.
But that play doesn't look as devastating as it
No, it
used
doesn't.
to. As Ursula's coming in on 2, and you're gonna be able to nab that song pretty much guaranteed. And it looks like you're gonna go after the.
Got
What are you
Storm or
taking here? Do you
Strength.
take Storm or Strength? Um,
If I'm Rob, I probably take let the Storm Rage on. I gotta think both are gonna get rid of your Diablo, but Storm is gonna draw a card, and it looks like Richie's got plenty of Inkables in his hand. So yeah, I
yeah,
think that is the correct maneuver
and you
there.
might you might actually coerce a use of this strength here. So if you go 2 cards, 2/1 drops, seeing strength, pop Ursula, then that might protect your Diablo Devoted Herald coming in on that next whenever you can have enough ink to get that bad boy installed. But let's see if Richie elects to make that play at all, or will we got Brent. Brent has returned.
Sorry,
All
my
good.
puppies made a big mess outside, so
Oh.
I had to
Oh,
clean it. I just had to clean it real quick. But I'm back. What's the score? What's going on? What have I missed?
We've got Amber Steel songs, the classic Amber Steel songs, which is seeing a little bit fall in favor here in the Sapphire meta by Richie going up against the Amber Emerald Under the Sea discard deck from Rob. And both of these players are, most of these players in this tournament are DMV legends, but both of these specifically, Rob has day 2'd multiple DLCs, no stranger to DLCs. Rob always cosplays at all the DLCs, and you can see him in the Jasmine cosplay today. Rob always playing very eccentric decks. Very
mm,
interesting deck lists. I played Rob in a set championship for Azurite Sea. We were in a Ruby Amethyst mirror. I can tell you, it was not a mirror, the cards that Rob was playing, and I lost. So,
oh my,
Wow.
Rob is a great
nice.
deck builder, a great innovator. And Rob, if you remember before Seattle, when Finders Keepers just skyrocketed in price. That's because Rob, who was on TFM at the time, played it during the ICL and completely hosed everyone, and all the enchanted skyrocketed for Ruby Amethyst. So that was Rob.
Look at that.
Richie
The
is Richie is another great player who's been at a ton of different events, a consistent set champion, and an Amber Steel song savant, in my opinion. I've played both of these players many times, and they are both extremely, extremely good players.
And that is a good wrap up. Now I feel like I know exactly everything I need to know about these two opponents. I feel like and that's one of my big missions here. That's what I like to dedicate my YouTube channel to, is just really getting to know the people and getting to tell their stories of their journeys, because a lot of times people just kind of write people off and just I don't know. I think that's very important to kind of put faces to the skill, because a lot of these players, they dedicate a lot of time to this craft and they don't get the attention that I feel like they are due most of the time. As you're going to sit here stuck on 3 ink, I think you had to skip mark and bypass your ink there, electing to hang on to that Gaston as Bare Necessities comes down, and that is an absolute punish there, as you are going to get your another song ripped from your hand. As I think that's another card that's going to have some tremendous value here going into set 7.
Yeah,
Agreed.
definitely.
Man. And now the Diablo comes down. I mean, who's heard after everything we heard about Ban the Bird and all of this, like Diablo coming out here and nobody cares anymore. It's really
Yeah, it's
funny
like
how it
it's
all
like,
swings.
dude, you mean you had to pay 3 ink to play this Diablo? Whatever, dude. And you only draw
Yeah,
a card. That's it.
right.
Whatever.
This
Who
bell's
cares?
free.
Yeah.
This bell
If you're
just
not
cost me a popsicle.
Yeah, no, you're talking free over here. As you did get to the storm, and Rob does show some sign of tilt there, because you have to top deck that, and you do get to it right away. And then you're going to bring out the baritone bully. Gaston is up and active, and you don't have the ink to play this Daisy Duck. And you're thinking if you want to go ahead and challenge or start questing heavily with your Smee, as Richie will elect to go ahead and do so, getting the quest in, electing not to engage with the Ursula.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
the song deck doing what it wants to do, sing, and I love that baritone bully. But here comes another Diablo. Deal with this
Another
one.
one.
You use 3 of your songs early on. Do you have another Richie with 1 card in hand? And I'm pretty sure Rob knows that is a Daisy Duck. So we'll see if he can rip something off the top. But Richie running out of ink and running out of cards quickly. If he could find a wheel, that would be huge before this Diablo exerts.
Let's see it. And it is none other than the Bianca, who's too far away to come down. You do have the ally, but you don't have the ink. And that is something that you're just going to have to bypass as well. You slam the Bianca into the inkwell. Those stats were almost intoxicating. I would have almost been willing to just roll the dice and see if I can bypass another discard and get that Bianca up. But Richie, like you said, in tune with the deck, saying, you know what, let's continue to advance my game state a little bit, get that Bianca down to the inkwell, and then start questing heavy with these characters. Or maybe you can start challenging, banishing some guys here, as you could, in theory, clear both of these Ursulas.
Mm-hmm. Yep, and then I mean you have to do it with your Ariel. Ariel on Ursula Violence. That's lore accurate.
Revenge.
Yeah.
You take my voice. I got something for you, big dog, and just dunk on Ursula. I love to see it. A very, very lore accurate. Gaston, not so much. Daisy, not so much. But we got Prince John here, and now the Prince John is established, and you could go ahead. Oh, we got a little laggage there. Sort it.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out to Garrick. Fixed that almost immediately, dude. What button did you push to just do that so
I
quickly?
did nothing. I just sat here and was like, "Oh no," and then it fixed
That
itself.
you got to that no, you got to say it's a secret, man. I can't tell you. You
Okay,
got to
okay,
really
yeah.
own it, dude.
Super secret.
As it
Richie. Yep. Oh, Richie, no cards in hand though, right?
Richie's holding none.
Yep.
But you do have
Got the
two.
peak off the
You
top, which was a huge draw because look at the sudden chills in the hand. Can't use them.
Yeah.
But I guess also doesn't have a hand to use them anyway. But
and but it does look like you do have some singers that are set up, and this Diablo is going to get exerted though. So that does not feel the best. However, you have some outs here. You can get to the Ursula or excuse me, the Rapunzel perhaps. You could, in theory, get to And you have a lot of singers set up this next turn. So if you do get to Rapunzel, you can get the Under the Sea off next turn because you do have the sing ability necessary to do that. And it looks like Richie will be devastated if that Under the Sea goes off. You have that Pete who will be able to survive, but if you get Kita this next turn and then be able to sing Under the Sea, the game is probably just over right there as
What did
Rob
Richie?
S is in complete
Yeah.
control.
He's got
What did
Rapunzel's
Richie just
power.
draw? He has a location. He inked one earlier. It looks like Neverland almost. The one cost
I think
Yeah.
it's Rapunzel's tower. I could be wrong though.
could be.
No, that is definitely Neverland. I believe
Okay.
the Amber Steel players have been using this card in their decks in order to just get a little bit of additional reach, and it's pretty decent into the Ruby Sapphire and the slower decks. It only has 4 in the willpower, but just putting it out late game, just adding like a just one Lord, maybe like a think of a really weak character that quests for 1,
Right.
just to have an additional little reach out there is sometimes good enough, is what a lot of these top players indicated that this strategy might need as you move your whole team in there. Pretty hilarious.
With no effect.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
Just
that's
'cause.
pretty funny. And then we will quest here. So this turn is about to be a complete backbreaker for Richie, and you never saw it coming. It looks like Daisy will get a trigger. Did the Daisy trigger? Unless they
I'm
didn't
having
quest.
the problems with the apps, the to keep the lore total. So I think Richie double click. But there's the Ursula trigger, as the judge fixes that. But I think, do you ever consider just questing out here if you're Richie? You gotta
Yeah.
think. All right, Rob is playing the discard deck. We know that their main board wipe is that Under the Sea, and I've got some characters here that are vulnerable to it. Do you just quest with the aerial, or do you need to sing so bad that you keep it on the
Yeah,
on the
I mean
upright?
you do have that baritone bully, that Gaston. He is
Mhm.
a singer 5 as well, and he will resist the Under the Sea in his natural state. But if Keto is going to be a part of this equation, you're gonna lose it all. You're gonna lose everything, and it's gonna be a suplex off the top rope. So let's see if Rob can get to the Kita right now. Oh, did you draw it? I can't tell.
No, you're welcome
No, you
was
didn't.
drawn.
Okay, so
Ooh. So, I mean, the biggest thing that strikes out to me is the fact that we have a 4 willpower location on board. We have decently statted characters on Richie's side, and on the side of Rob, even with so many cards in hand, it still doesn't feel great because all of the characters that you have to challenge are is 1 Diablo and everybody else is 1 strength. So
that is true.
and you're in the position where you need to remove all the other characters because Richie is, thank you, whoever's hand that was shoving that in there. I didn't know
I
what
had
the
to
lore
go- I had
count
to
was.
go
Richie's at
figure that out.
14.
Yeah.
So
Oh.
we need to get some stuff off the board here. I don't care how many cards you have in hand. You gotta start removing.
For sure. And I think you might have to rip this Under the Sea, as painful as it sounds. Does I think what you might have to do, though, as painful as this also might sound, is there a way for you to play this You're Welcome and Sudden Chill and Under the Sea at the same time? Because that might give you some cards you need. You can't clear another character with a You're Welcome. You can probably clear the Baritone Bully with You're Welcome, for instance.
Mhm.
Then you can trigger the Prince John, and then you can get another card, and then you can play the Under the Sea. And that might be the line of approach that you have to take, as it looks like I don't think Rob is going to go with that line of play at all. What would Jasmine do? And Jasmine wouldn't be afraid. I think you got to just send it. You're welcome here.
It's a-
Send something back to the deck.
It's a really
And
complicated
then-
turn for sure.
Right, but then with your welcome, even if when you send something back on Richie's side, you're giving Richie some card draw there.
Right, you'll be getting 2 more cards, but then you have that Sudden Chill that you could, and look like that's what they're gonna do. You could go for the You're Welcome. You gotta send one of those 3 cost characters, either the Baritone Bully or the Pete.
I think Rob's sending his
His
own
own Ursula. Oh, never
Ursula
mind.
back in so he can draw cards.
Oh wow, that's a be not afraid technique right there. I don't know. We gotta think about this one, because you'll draw 2, but then you'll be able to take 1 with the Sudden Chill that you have, trigger the Prince John, get another
Oh
card,
no,
and hope.
okay. Pete's going
Yeah,
back in.
this is
Pete's
this is the
going.
play. This is the way right here. I think this is correct. And then you still might have the ink required to let's see, because you need Ursula's a 4. Under the Sea is 8, so you need both of these guys to sing this thing. So you might not have enough ink to play the Sudden Chill as well. So this might, I don't know. This is tough. This is a tough spot for Rob here.
Yeah, I think it is going to be too little too late here. Richie with just a dominant board, despite the fact that he was out of cards and it looked like out of hope. But
And it
now
looks like we're gonna sing. We are gonna sing a Sudden Chill. So we will be able to take one of those cards from hand, get a draw with Prince John, and then we can. It'd be cool if you could sing together with your ink as well. That'd be neat. That'd be a neat little wrinkle. But I don't think you can sing a half harmony and then fill
Yeah.
in the rest of it with your ink.
So
That'd be
does
nice and
Richie
good.
have the whole new world in his hands? If one of these two survives, you could make some explosive plays here on Richie's side of
they
the
both-
board.
Both of the singers are here. Both of the singers are going to make it, and this could be a blowout now as Richie has negotiated the treacherous obstacles, and you're going to be able to sing this whole new world with the inkwell untouched.
Goes for
As
the
you're singing both of these
strength off
songs
the
here.
Top, so now he can wheel
Look
without
at
giving Rob
this.
14 cards.
Oh, that is a tilt and a half shell turtle power. I'm tilting if I'm Rob there as you get another a fresh bounty of cards.
Yeah.
But if you spam these low cost characters, Under the Sea still is a tremendous threat that you have to worry about.
Right. Richie able to see the Under the Sea hit Rob's discard pile though, so hopefully we'll be able to play around it. Not so much with the Daisy Duck, but maybe not any other characters that are going to be able to. Oh, and another Neverland comes out.
Look at that.
Yeah, the
we
Neverland
were
has been significant in this match.
For sure. And we talked about it earlier. Neverland is actually Under the Sea proof too.
Yep.
So that's another way to gain some incremental lore. And you have to encourage your opponent's weaker characters to engage with it, as Kita is finally going to be found along with Lucifer as well. And another You're Welcome. So if you can somehow manage to just stabilize this turn, I think there's a world Rob can drag this game into a little bit deeper of water, if depending on how Richie breaks this next turn down.
Drag it under the sea, if you will.
Hey,
There we go.
And check out the hand for Richie with the Enchanted Naveen. Gotta say, I think Shimmering Skies might be my favorite Enchanted just across the board in any set.
Same.
Every single one was a banger, but Naveen might be my favorite from that entire set. It's just gorgeous.
I agree with you. I agree. I did agree with you until this set came out. Arcasia's Island has just been blowing my mind, dude. With this artwork, it's been crazy. But when I first saw that Enchanted Mufasa, I was like, these people need to get a raise. Whoever designed this, and then the scar. But then they fell off though. I'm not gonna lie. When we went to the Azurite Sea, we got to come stronger than that. They felt the fall off was pretty dramatic, and they turned it way up.
Them. Some people hated them. That was kind of with Ursula's Return as well. It's like a love hate.
With
the black backgrounds. The Sisu from Ursula's Return looked beautiful.
Clean.
But,
I think the fall off though from in at least my opinion. I know, like you said, it's very polarizing, but I'm on the opposite. I'm a fall off. I think they fell off there.
Oh, he's got the Enchanted Zeus in hand as well. Also, another one of my favorite Enchanteds for sure.
Oh. So Richie just balling? Huh? Is that what it is?
Richie
I got you.
is balling outrageous.
And
he
we
is
will
a dedicated song player, so it makes sense to want to foil out your favorite deck.
And it looks like we are going to think about this play for a second. I'm surprised what happened to those cards in hand? The Whole New World blasted that Whole New World got rid of. Got it. Oh man. So that does stink for Rob there, as we're going to continue to board fight aggressively as the Hidden Cove.
Is huge.
That's strong. As we'll take out the location. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's enough to take it down. And it looks like you got to get some more stuff going here. That's not quite enough, as you got 2, 3, 4, and that should be GG's coming into the next turn, I believe, if my mathematics is correct. If that Daisy Duck can go off, and then the Cindy can quest, you gain 1 from the location. Am I mistaken? Is that Daisy not on the field?
Richie already gained 1 from the location. I
Oh,
believe.
okay.
Okay. One more turn.
Gotcha.
Unless he's playing something silly like Spaghetti Dinner or something. But
And this
imagine.
has been like really well navigated by Richie, who was stuck on so many uninkables. He's still only at 4 ink this entire match and has just done beautifully, making the most of what he's been given. And the daisies have been a significant factor in that, as well as the Neverlands, like you guys mentioned.
Yeah, he's
Mm-hmm.
been behind on card advantage, ink advantage, and board, and yet somehow is about to just win this game.
But lore is what matters the most. Getting to the
Absolutely.
money.
Absolutely. Yep. But it's still not. I mean, you need all of them. You need every single piece of lore in order to win this thing, and it is never over until it's absolutely over. And I think you might have to play some more characters here just to ensure that you're going to get it going. As Naveen is down, and Naveen is striking the
Oh,
Zeus, and Zeus is going to blast the hidden cove. And then that Naveen could be an institution right there. You might have to you're welcome this Naveen, which feels quite miserable.
Yeah.
Not gonna lie.
can I just say how boss it is to play down your Naveen Enchanted and then play for free your Zeus Enchanted?
Yes.
Yeah, that's
That
some
was a
ball
big
activity.
baller move for sure.
He just called me broke in several different time zones there and languages and card flexes. Playing multiple enchanted in this deck. This is one of those decks, like you said. I've seen the Steel Song players, the Green Steel players, and the Steel Song players. They are the ones who go max rarity, and some of the Ruby Sapphire players too. And they're beautiful. These decks are gorgeous, man. But you know the real ones are the ones who have really invested into those full alt art Rapunzels that are cold foil as well. That's
Oh
how you know the
yeah,
real
I
ones.
mean that's
I mean,
crazy money.
if you're gonna ball, you got to ball all the way out. You can't be balling on the budget. You can't be half balling. You got a full ball.
Yeah,
Okay, that's it.
I got the non foils in my Amber Steel song deck. I got the full arts, but
Yeah, me too.
foils are a little.
I mean, we're
expensive.
balling on the budget.
Yeah.
But I must say I won all of mine though. I went to DLCs and I
Yep,
collected
same.
all of mine myself. I didn't trade or buy them, but I'm balling on a micro budget over here. As Rob is trying to figure this thing out, and this is a very tumultuous situation. You are precariously perched, and look at the muses. This might be enough to turn the tide of this thing.
Yep. Use
As
to
you play
stall.
the Prince John, and you have that you're welcome in your hand, as well as the sudden chill, and you might have to play all of these cards, and then you might be able to get some quality discards in as well. So this thing is, I ain't heard no bell
Yeah.
as we're sudden chilling here now.
So the sudden chill will put 2 more cards into Rob's hand. He'll also be able to use those muses to bounce back, let's say, either the Daisy or the Cinderella.
Mm-hmm. I gotta get rid of the Daisy because you
Yep.
could challenge the Cinderella quite easily with some of your other characters, and you still might have to sing this "You're Welcome" onto the Naveen and clear the location. You need a board clear completely right here. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Bruno as well. I think he might be out of ink though. Okay, so yeah, there is the "You're Welcome." "You're Welcome" is going to send the Naveen back to the deck. We'll get another shuffle. We'll draw 2. Very
As well as
interesting
Bruno.
though. That Rob elected to do the sudden chill before the "You're Welcome." I would think maybe you do that. I don't know. What are your thoughts on that?
I am not sure when Rob saw Richie's hand last. He may have had hand knowledge
Mm-hmm.
and knew what the card was that he wanted to get rid of, or valued those cards in the hand more. That could have been it, or it could have just been. I mean, I don't know if it matters more one way or the other specifically. There's the wheel.
Ooh. And that Pete
Right.
might be extra strength Tylenol Pete.
Yeah, Pete might
He
actually
might be
just win the game here if you just like
Yeah, that Pete
daisy
might
Pete.
literally just be the. And I thought for a second there that Rob could have
Yeah.
turned this thing around, but that Pete is just going to be the absolute coffin nail because there's no way to engage with ready characters here if you don't have an action to do so. Especially, wait a minute. No, you can't. You can't muse them because you just can't play
Yeah.
the actions, and you just don't have enough lore to quest out. So Richie gets there, gets to the absolute Dublinsky, and it
By
is
the
going to be
skin of
very
his
well
teeth.
played though by Rob.
Yeah, I mean, look at the board states, right? If you didn't know the lore totals, you'd be like, "This is a beatdown right now."
Yeah, without that Pete, though, honestly,
Yeah, you're
there was
coming back.
still in it.
Yeah.
Still in it was
Yeah,
Rob.
without the Pete, I think Rob brings it back and wins in like 2 turns, right? He had the key to
For sure.
Because then you can, you put down the Kita, you lessen the strength of the Shmi, and then yeah.
Yeah, and you can keep it going. I think the game continues to be played on because you had Bruno in your hand, you had different options. You could just continue to draw and keep going, but that's just how it goes sometimes, man. Pete is him. Pete is truly one of the strongest cards in the game for a reason, and that is just how it's going to go sometime. But again, thank you guys for watching on the Twitch half of it. But if you're on Twitch and you're looking at it, I'm encouraging everyone. I'm going to say this once every 30 minutes or so. Make sure that you're getting over to the YouTube as well. Open up the YouTube, go to Garrick's Lorcana Lair, okay, and support the main broadcast on YouTube as well. It's a numbers thing, okay? Let's call a spade a spade. Let's support each other and let's help grow each other. And thank you for everyone who's following the program right now. I do appreciate it. All the follows that are coming in on Twitch, you guys can't hear it, but we have people on Twitch that are following the program right now. I do appreciate it if you're in the Twitch chat. I can't necessarily see the YouTube chat right now, but I'm sure it's bumping and humping and jumping. Thank you so much for that as well. So it is an absolute vibe all around, and it is just a full-on love. But back to the action.
Yeah, thank you, JDZ, for that, and of course, thank you guys so much for being here today. It's been a great day so far, and we've got the final round coming up. And then we've got the top 8, which I'm super excited for.
Let's do it.
Ooh, what's your predictions, fellers? Predictions on any on what the top 8's gonna look like?
I think it's gonna be a lot of Sapphire and Steel, if I had to guess.
Ooh,
a lot of Sapphire.
There.
It's going to be a lot of Sapphire, but I wouldn't be surprised if this Steel Song deck can make a run. It seems like Richie is locked in and laser focused and in tune with this strategy. But Rob Lee kind of got, not Rob Lee, Rob S has kind of gotten kind of hosed on that last round. So maybe if you could just get a little bit closer, just get this deck list going a little bit sooner, I think you might be able to continue to mount up some pressure and keep it going, as Diablo is going to come on out before the hand is even drawn. So we'll both look at it at the same time. As if Find 'em Flatten 'em is another card. Look at that. Staple.
Ooh, and a Troubadour. Troubadour. I like that. Yeah, that Find 'em Platinum's probably hitting the inkwell immediately.
Instantly. I think they need to come out with a card and it's kind of power creep, Find 'em Platinum, and Rise of the Titans to just do one that does both. I think that would be a great card. It doesn't have to be, and make it a song as well. I think that'd be really cool to just have a card that can just do both of those things. And maybe even make it Amethyst, man. It's time to give Ruby Am a way to interact with items, man. I think it's so unfair that they just won't print that card for that color combination.
You're telling me, man. Every time I saw Lucky Dime come down, I just would put my
heart
in my
sinks.
hands. Yeah.
As a Sapphire and Steel player, that's one of the best feelings in the world, is just play a Lucky Dime on a Ruby Am player, and they just can't do anything about it. And then you just see the joy just be sapped from their expression as they just have to stare down this Lucky Dime. It's just slowly over time, just for 2 at a time, quest 2, 4, 4, 4, 4, and they just lose. It's like, hate to see it, man. And there's nothing they can do. This card just doesn't exist. As the Troubadour is out, inactive, resist 1/3 character doing his thing. As
Rob having some troubles here. Had to miss doing anything on turn 2. Could have played the Bare Necessities, and now misses on the aerial. It feels bad.
It does. A bit of a little oof. Yeah, the hand is not doing too much. As Richie, I'm
Rob
sure,
looks into the camera. He knows it's not looking great.
It's crazy how I got here type beats, just kind of staring. You wonder how I got here kind of moment. My name is Earl type beat. Hate to see it. Hate to see it. Hate to see it, man. But that's the
not
game
if
we
you're
play.
Richie.
Yeah, not if you're Richie. But shout out to Rob. Love Rob. Always in good spirits no matter what's going on. Finding another aerial. Let's see if we miss.
Come on.
This time.
We can't miss twice.
Okay, you're welcome.
Okay, there you go. You can't miss twice, man. That's against the law.
But you do have to send your Cove to the bottom of the deck, which you don't exactly like seeing, especially in this matchup. I feel like Cove is probably pretty important. Sorry, go ahead.
No. And we're going to play the You're Welcome right now. No, we're going to ink the You're Welcome. I'm sorry. I thought you were going to play that You're Welcome. I'm like, wow, that's a pretty strange You're Welcome. But I guess I was incorrect. As you got these 2 singers set up versus 2 singer. We got singer on singer violence right now. Both of them. See who's got the best battle of the bands. None of them has sang a song just yet. It looks like you have another one of those locations queued up, ready to go into the inkwell, that is. and we'll play the Pete just to ensure you can't sing any ballads of your own, followed by a Daisy Duck. So this is looking all Richie here in the early half of this game number 2.
Yeah, not the Tinkwell this game. Although I guess Richie could pull it out. Could be in there.
Potentially, they might go back to that card, Tinkerbell, in this steel era that we find ourselves. This Under the Sea might be the win condition, but still, that Gaston is just being a baritone bully, legitimately holding down this spot. You need Kita, and you need Kita now.
Shout out Zach Bivens, the baritone bully progenitor, I'd say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, Nala, I think, was the first time I saw Nala was Zach.
He's cooking too, man. He's always cooking.
Oh man, yeah, what a beast. But the Under the Sea cannot be played this turn because of the bigger bully Pete played last turn by Richie. Richie smartly identifying that there's a lot of singer potential for exactly an Under the Sea, but will prevent it for one turn at least.
And we will go ahead and set up another warded for Singer, and they have a ton of actions in hand, so maybe you can set up some Rapunzel traps as well. I think Rob was looking through the lines right there to see if there was a potential for a Rapunzel setup there, but it just wasn't because this baritone bully is completely stacked, and the Troubadour is quite weak, and he just didn't have the means to do so. But going into the next turn, but it's such a down tempo play as well, as the drum is banging for Richie as he's gaining lore after lore after lore. It's just going to be tough to even take a turn off to do this whole Rapunzel gambit as you get into a World's Greatest Criminal Mind. That's a great card. Thoughts on that card?
Love World's Greatest Criminal Mind. I think it's a good call in the current meta. There are those big Tamatoas flying around. You got to think about all the Sisus that are in play, especially strong against the Amber Steel decks. So yeah, a nice little inclusion there. Richie seemingly has a bit of a toolbox here, which is great when you're playing wheel decks. Have a Final Platinum.
Speaking of, there it is right there. Another very, very powerful wheel doing what Amber Steel does, just cheating that ink and manipulating the board, putting a bunch of characters out, seeing a whole new world, and just steamrolling the advantage. This is textbook what Amber Steel is trying to do and how it can manage this discard situation, man. This is tough spot.
Absolutely. Meanwhile, that Neverland is like the hidden hero. I believe 4 or 5 of more than half of Richie's lore right now is from a 1-cost location.
That he played because on
it's
turn
just
1.
Yeah. It's absolutely bonkers to look at this and realize what's going on here. I did see though the Kita in hand. I do believe there is an Under the Sea in hand as well. So Rob will be able to pull off the combo.
Yep.
Yeah. Hold on, because you got 5 plus 4. Yeah, it's happening. The comeback starts now.
No, the Kita wasn't there, and Rob scoops
it got taken with the whole new world.
Oh.
What?
Oh,
I was thinking a turn earlier.
Yeah.
Oh, brutal.
What a way
that
to
is
finish.
brutal.
Needed it, had the full hand, couldn't find it, and Richie with the turn 1 Neverland just too fast. Both games. And
there was the Kita.